Hello everyone, welcome to today's lecture. So today we are going to do the last part of chapter 9, that is environmental management. Okay, take page number 104. The last part of the chapter, that is disaster management. So in this chapter we studied about weather and climate, then solid waste management, and the last one is disaster management. You are having some questions. Can you recall questions? Which natural calamities have you experienced? How did they affect the conditions in your surroundings? Okay, what are the natural calamities which we have experienced? For example, corona is a natural calamity. Okay, it is a disaster, it is a disease which is worldwide, it is pandemic, it has affected our lives, isn't it? Okay, second, how will you make a plan to be safe from calamities or to minimize the damage? Okay, so to minimize the damage, what we can do, we can reduce pollution. How we can reduce pollution? At our level, we can use cycles, we can burn less amount of fuel. Okay, such things we can do at our level. Increasing plantations, we could plant more trees. Then education about the precautions to be taken. You can educate other people about the precautions which could be taken during the calamities. Various natural disasters like thunderbolts, floods, fire, and man-made disasters like accidents, bomb explosions, chemical accidents in industries, stampedes in mass gatherings, riots, etc. occur around us from time to time. They cause large-scale damage to life and property. You know about that. Next, page number 105. What are the types of casualties that are seen to occur in different types of disasters? For example, if there is flood, there is loss of life and large amount of property is lost. There is loss of life of cattle. The waterborne diseases, they spread in large amounts. Okay, so there are different types of limitations, different types of disadvantages of having floods. Earthquake, loss of life and property again. Okay, a large amount of life and property is lost. There are too many number of injured people and animals. The walls collapse, buildings collapse, bridges collapse. Okay, all these are damages caused due to earthquakes. Next, famine. Due to famine, there is malnutrition. People get less amount of food. There is starvation. There is different types of epidemics. So these are the different types of casualties which occur at different disasters. First aid to disaster victims. Before that, there is a box towards the right hand side. We will see disaster management is action implemented through proper planning, organized activity and coordination. So management, disaster management means management of a particular disaster which is occurring. The action which has to be done is properly planned, then organized, and there is coordination between the people. It includes the following: prevention of losses and danger, improving tolerance, providing relief from disaster, minimizing the intensity and extent of harm, preparation to face the disaster, immediate action in the disaster situation. Okay, so the first three you can tell it is before a particular disaster occurs, that is prevention of losses and danger. Okay, whatever danger is there, you can earlier tell the people about the danger which could be caused due to the disaster, and improving tolerance among the people, providing relief from disaster. Okay, when there is disaster, providing relief, minimizing the intensity and extent of harm, preparation to face the disaster, immediate action in the disaster situation, assessment of damages and intensity of disaster. You have to assess the amount of damage which is done during that particular disaster, arranging for rescue work and help, rehabilitation and rebuilding. Rehabilitation means the recovery of the particular damage which is done to people and the property. Next, first aid to disaster victims. The main objective of first aid is prevention of death, preventing deterioration of health, and starting process of rehabilitation. So whenever there is a particular disaster and if there is a person who is affected, first aid has to be provided. Now you are having some information in your syllabus about the first aid which could be provided to the people who suffer from damage, okay, disaster. Hence, it is important to know about the emergency measures or first aid practices to be followed. Basic principles of first aid: life and resuscitation. Here I have written the basic principles of first aid, life and resuscitation. This spelling has been wrongly written, okay, wrongly printed in your textbook. You may correct it, okay. Resuscitation. Now life and resuscitation includes A, B and C, that is airway, breathing and circulation. Airway means you have to keep the head of the patient backward so that the airway is straight, okay, the airway is straight so that you can help him with artificial breathing, okay, that is artificial breathing. And circulation, that is by pressing the chest, you can give, you can start the heartbeats. You might have seen in television, okay, that is circulation. So A, B, C, that is airway, breathing and circulation. Several times questions are asked on this. We will see in the textbook what they have written. If the victim has difficulty breathing, the head should be held in backward sloping position or the chin should be raised so that the respiratory passage remains open. That means the airway remains open, okay. Second, breathing. If breathing has stopped, the victim should be given artificial ventilation by mouth to mouth resuscitation. Okay, the word artificial respiration is also said to be resuscitation. Circulation. If the victim is unconscious, then after giving mouth to mouth respiration twice, the heart should be pressed down hard by pressing the chest with both the palms. These two actions should be repeated alternately about 15 times. This is called cardiopulmonary resuscitation or CPR. It helps to bring the circulation back to normal. So these are the three things which come under life and resuscitation, ABC, that is airway, breathing and circulation. Okay, circulation is also said to be CPR, that is cardiopulmonary resuscitation. Now in a box below they have given about the different first aid which could be given to patients who are bleeding, who are having fracture and impact on vertebrae and are having burns. We will see. Bleeding. If the victim is injured and bleeding through the wound, then the wound should be covered with an antiseptic pad and pressure applied on it for 5 minutes with either thumb or palm. You might have seen you press with your thumb or with your palm at the particular wound, okay, to prevent the blood from bleeding out. Second, fracture and impact on vertebrae. What is vertebrae? You might have heard about vertebral column, the set of bones which we are having towards the dorsal side, that is the back side of our body. If any bone is fractured, it is essential that the fractured part be immobilized. Immobilized means should not be moved. It can be done with the help of any available wooden rods, batons or rulers. If there is an impact on the back or vertebral column, the patient should be kept immobile on a firm stretcher, okay. You shouldn't be moving the patient vigorously here and there. So what will happen? The injury inside the particular fractured part could become more, okay. Next is burns. If victims have burn injuries, it is beneficial to hold the injured part under clean and cold flowing water for at least 10 minutes. This you know. So these are the first aid which could be given for patients who are suffering from bleeding, fracture and impact on vertebrae and burns. Now we may move on to the next page, page number 106. That is for injuries like sprains, twisting and contusion. The rice remedy should be applied. Okay, for injuries, here you may see, for injuries like sprains, twisting and contusion. Sprain, okay, sprain, twisting, murgalne. Contusion, that means sometimes there is inner injury or kharchatne. Okay, that is the remedy is rice remedy. Now what do you mean by rice remedy? R stands for rest, I stands for I stands for ice, and C stands for compression, and E stands for elevate. Now what do we mean by that? We may see in that box. Rest, allow the victim to sit in a relaxed position. Ice, apply an ice pack to the injured part. Compression, after the ice pack treatment, the injured part should be massaged gently. Elevate, the injured part should be kept in a raised or elevated position. This is a 2-mark question. What do you mean by rice remedy? You may write the question about that. What do you mean by rice remedy? Okay. Next is how to transport victims and patients. There are about 7 methods of transporting victims and patients according to the type of damage which has caused to that patient. So there is cradle method, carrying piggyback, human crutch method, pulling or lifting method, carrying on 4-hand chair, carrying on 2-hand chair, and stretcher. These are the different methods. You have to study the names of all these methods. It could be a 2-mark question. Okay, otherwise they will give you the diagram and ask which type of method is it. Okay, now you may see the diagram. Page number 106. How to transport victims and patients. Cradle method, useful for children and underweight victims. You may see the method. You can lift only underweight patients or children, like in that method. Carrying piggyback, useful for carrying patients who are unconscious. Human crutch method, if one of the leg is injured, the victim should be supported with minimum load on the other leg. You may see the diagram, you will understand. Pulling or lifting method, this is used for carrying an unconscious patient through a short distance. You can just pull him. Next, carrying on 4-hand chair, this is useful when support is needed for the part below the waist. Carrying on 2-hand chair, useful for those patients who cannot use their hands but can hold their body upright, who can sit, but the damaged part is below the body and he can sit. Okay, then that method is used. Next is stretcher, that is if a conventional stretcher is not available, a temporary stretcher can be made using bamboos, blanket, etc. Okay, that is a stretcher. So these are the different methods of how victims could be transported. Next, towards the right, page number 107. Other emergency measures. Boats are used by the civil administration to rescue people trapped in a flooded area. As an emergency measure, wooden boats, bamboo floats, air-filled rubber tube from a tire can be used to advantage. Okay, this you might have seen in flooded areas on televisions. Okay, so these are the different methods of transportation of victims. So we have finished with the chapter. In this chapter there are 3 basic parts. The first one is weather and climate, about distinguish between weather and climate. That is the mostly asked question from that part. Next is about solid waste management. In solid waste management, the questions are the classifications of solid waste, the different types of waste which had been given, distinguish between biodegradable and non-biodegradable. Okay, the harmful effects of solid waste, necessity of solid waste management, and scientific methods and eco-friendly methods of solid waste management. Okay, after that the different principles, the 7 principles we had studied, that also could be asked. And the last part of the chapter is disaster management. Under disaster management, the question could be asked on ABC, the question could be asked on rice, or the methods of transportation of victims. Okay, you may read the chapter very thoroughly and understand. If you are having any doubts, you may ask. Okay, thank you.